at GL Bajaj Institute of Management and Research, feel honored to welcome Mr. Ajay Khurana, founder of McKinley Global Advisor Canada. I would also like to welcome Mr. Ashish Sharma, Senior Analyst ENY, Dr. Ajay Kumar Sir, Director, GL Bajaj Institute of Management and Research, faculty members, and dear students to the webinar entitled Addressing Individual Investors' Dilemma During COVID-19 under Finance Panel Discussion. This panel discussion is organized by GL Bajaj Institute of Management and Research. The institute was established in 2007 under the able guidance of Shri Pankaj Agrawal ji, Vice Chairman, GL Bajaj Educational Institutions. I would like to give a quote over here by Warren Buffett, that is, when all are hungry, we should be fearful, and when all are fearful, we should be hungry. So there are plethoras of doubts and questions that is it the right time to invest in the stock market or should we rely on this rally? So that's the agenda of today's panel discussion, that is addressing individual investors' dilemma during COVID-19. We feel great to have presence of energetic and versatile finance professional Mr. Ajay Khurana, who is the founder and CEO McKinley Global Advisor with 15 years of track record in financial services. He is a registered financial and retirement advisor and holds the certification of Canadian Institution of Financial Planning. His specializations are private banking, financial planning, portfolio management, global asset allocation, to name a few. We also have among us Mr. Ashish Sharma, Senior Analyst E&Y, experienced investment banking analyst with a demonstrated history of working in the investment management industry. Skilled in macroeconomics, fundamental analysis, equity research, and team motivation. He is a strong financial professional with a PGDM focused in banking and corporate finance. For today's panel discussion, we also have among us Dr. Anand Rai, Associate Professor GLB IMR, and Dr. Harsh Pratap Singh, Professor GLB IMR. So we also have among us Dr. Ajay Kumar Sir, Director GL Bajaj Institute of Management and Research, with diverse experience of 33 years in academics, research, training, and consultancy. Sir always motivates people. I would like to invite our Director, Dr. Ajay Kumar Sir, for welcome address. Please, sir.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to formally welcome Mr. Ajay Khurana, Mr. Ashish Sharma, our professor, Dr. Anand Rai, Dr. Anu Thakur, and Dr. Harsh Pratap Singh, who are going to deliberate and discuss about the key issues pertaining to individual investors' dilemma during COVID-19. The entire financial market and share markets too have seen downslide over a period of last 3 months, I can say, 4 months rather. If you talk about the global market, it's more than 4 months now. So under this scenario, under such circumstances, it has become very difficult for the investors to think where to invest or not. So lot many challenges are there, lot many confusions are there, and it is going to prevail for another months, maybe year. So all the experts are here to give their own opinion, their own judgment based on their knowledge, based on their expertise, and that will definitely be helpful to all the students and present faculty members. So without wasting any time, I would like to request Dr. Anu to start the proceedings so that we all get benefited with this discussion on the subject addressing individual investors' dilemma during COVID-19. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So I would like to invite Dr. Anand Rai, sir, who will be the moderator for today's panel discussion. Please, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Anu, and welcome to this webinar, all the guests, Mr. Ajay Khurana, Mr. Ashish, all the esteemed faculty members and their students. This is the addressing individual investors' dilemma is one of the finest topic we thought we should take in today's COVID-19 situation. And if I just give you a background this title, keeping in mind the current scenario which is going on from all across the globe about the international financial market. You see, if you look at the investors perspective, there are individual retail investors, you have the high net worth individuals, and then you have a corporate investors, means companies which are also investing into businesses all around the globe. And from last 3 or 4 months, because of this crisis, which is COVID-19 crisis, that has hit the entire financial market very badly. And if you look at the kind of losses which we have, Indian market, to be precise, if I just give you some background, from last 3 months or so, the stock market is down by almost 30% and which means, if you look at the total market value of the stock market, which is $2 trillion, 30% means almost $600 billion, which is almost in Indian rupees 50 lakh crore rupees of the investors' money has lost from last 3 months. So it's not only the dilemma, I would say, it's more of I would say the pain which the investors are going through from last 3-4 months. And that is not the story of India, it's all across globe. If you look at India's GDP, almost India's GDP represents almost 3% of the global GDP. And look at the world around, worldwide, the investors' pain. If India's stock market has given a pain of almost 50 lakh crore worth of rupees, which is $100 billion, you can imagine the worldwide now investors are going through a very severe pain. And at the same time, that also leads to the dilemma. Dilemma in the sense that, if you look at the decision-making part, that large number of investors have already invested into various financial asset class. And, so retail investors are there, you have high net worth individuals, you have corporate who have invested a lot of money into different asset class. And so what they should do at this stage, whether they should withdraw their money, entire portfolio investment, or they should partially withdraw their money, or they should wait, or they should keep on investing further if they have surplus money. So these are typical dilemma decision making crisis that is actually hitting everybody's mind, whether be it in retail investors or high net worth individuals, or any any other investors, financial institution investors like private equity or venture capitalists. So keeping that in mind, this webinar is planned, and we have with us fantastic experts from all walks of financial world, Mr. Ajay Khurana, Mr. Ashish, and I'm sure Ashish will talk about more of from high net worth individual side, private equity trends, and all that, and Mr. Khurana will talk about that as well. So let's invite first Mr. Ajay Khurana, and let's hear from him what is his view on the investors' dilemma, and how these type of investors can really address these classic dilemma in today's scenarios. Over to Mr. Khurana. Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Anand, for the nice introduction. And as you rightly pointed out, the world is not in a good shape at the moment because of obvious reason. So I'm gonna start I have a small presentation. I'm gonna start with that. I'm gonna discuss about what's happening in the market just a bit, and then how an investor should be reacting to that. As I say, we cannot control what's going on with the market, but what would our reaction towards the market is that determine how we can be a better investor. So I'm gonna share my screen. Just a sec.
And in the meantime, just would like to apprise that we have 1 hour time, and within that last 20 minutes we'll keep for question answer session, because I'm sure a lot of questions will be there from students, so we'll address those questions also. So we'd request Ashish and Mr. Khurana to keep it for 10-15 minutes only, so that we can take more number of questions towards the end.
Yeah, so I quickly go through like what's going on in the market as of now. As I said, the second portion of my what I'm going to talk about is going to be like what should be our reaction to the market. So here is just a brief about the market, where we stand today, and what happened in the last few months. Let me just gonna, if you see here from we were around like 41,000 of index level when this market correction started, and we are at like around approximate 25% down since those levels. But in the meantime, if somebody would have noticed that we went down to around 30%, my arrow number 2, and in April we recovered around 20%. So a smart investor who would have invested in the month of March, they are already making 20% return. Yes, we are down by 30%, but it's an opportunity to make it like a 20% kind of a return as well. So the markets, if it's punish you, it gives you reward as well for the one who is willing to take those kind of a risk. If you look from the market correction, actually, from my perspective, we haven't corrected that much. And so we should not be worried too much. I'm going to look at, this is how I'm sure Ashish is going to put more emphasis on how to understand the market. But from my perspective, I keep it very simple, being a financial advisor, not a market analyst. So from a financial advisor perspective, I look at market from a valuation perspective, which is a price to earning ratio, which I'm sure all the students know very well. They must be studying, which is a very simple method, but uh, very like an informative metrics which we use. So if I give it in 3 different rating, like below 20, 20 to 25, and about 25. But if you look at little back in as even in the whole of the 2019 and in 2020, the markets were already expensive because there was no corporate earning for last many months because of demonetization. We had GST, we have bankruptcy laws. There are many things which was a hindrance to the corporate earning. So we were already very expensive. If it's not COVID-19, there would have been some anything else would have become a reason, and the market would have corrected by this level. And from a valuation perspective, we were at 28, which is a very expensive market, and we went down to like 17p in one around March, and we are still trading at 2021, which is still a reasonable valuation. From a market correction perspective, we corrected from a very high level, which was an expensive market. So from an expensive market, we corrected 25-30%, so which makes us a reasonably priced market. Not like from that perspective, we haven't corrected that much. And even if we have corrected, if we notice that the markets has come down, the capitalization has come down, but still it's a notional valuation. So this was a market, what's going on in the market. But if you look at, there are many still the economy is running, like what everyone aware of in India, like how much money has come in Reliance Jio in the last 15 days. Almost $8 billion has invested, and the investor are lining. It started with Facebook, a $5 billion investment, then it went to another journal. Atlantic is talking about another $900 million. So I'm looking at the positive side of the thing, that yes, we are thinking about the markets are going down, but it's giving us an opportunity to the smart investor around the world who's looking for this opportunity. Similarly, I was just reading today that Walmart and other big stores in the US, they're still hiring. They hired almost like a 90,000 kind of an employee even in this. And if you look at a couple of stocks which are still moving up, like Zoom, what all of us are using, it's almost like almost 2.5 times in last 4 months. Similarly, if you look at Amazon, it's like it hasn't corrected at all. In fact it's moving higher and higher despite the markets taking a correction. So yes, there is a market correction, but yes, there is a pockets of opportunity always. It was there during the Great Recession. It was there during the last recession, Great Depression, and will always be there. So as I said, we cannot control what's going on to the market, but only thing we can control is our reaction towards the market. So when I look as a financial advisor, what I look at, when I talk to the investor, when I talk to my clients, what do we talk about? We talk about very simple things, which is I want to share with all of you like 6 practical money lessons, which even I have adopted in my life. And I want to give that takeaways to all the investors, to all the students, which they can adopt in their financial journeys, which can make them a successful investor in the long term. So first thing I want to say is that I want to share a very simple rule of thumb, which is a saving and investment thumb rule. And it is a globally recognized rule of thumb, which is 50, 15, and 5. So which says that we should not spend more than 50% of our take-home money towards housing, food, transportation, meaning all the expenses should not be more than 50%. We should save 15% of our pre-tax income for our retirement, which is our long-term goal. If we keep on following those fundamental and every month, even if the market is correcting, we are saving that money and regularly investing. So these kind of market correction will become an opportunity for us and will make us, as I said, it will help us create enough investment corpus for us. The rest of the 5% out of that 50, 15, and 5, we suggest to put it in an unexpected expenses. You should look for we should save that 5% towards a short-term our short-term goals, which is like maybe an emergency fund we should be saving. So it's a simple rule of thumb, which we call it 15, 15, and 5. I don't want to stress more. Everyone should have like a term insurance and a health plan. This is very important. Like these kind of emergency, which is like a COVID-19, we should be prepared for well in advance. These kind of emergencies come from nowhere. So everyone should have at least 6 months worth of living expenses, whether you're working, whether you're looking for a job. It's going to be really difficult for the next 6 months. So everyone should be prepared for at least 6 months. If you can stretch it a 9 month, at least 6 to 9 months worth of the living expenses we should be having as an emergency fund. So which is very important, whether you are seasoned working for many years or a student starting a new career. It's going to be a really difficult time for the next few months. Everyone should have their financial priorities. They should be having their long-term financial goals very clear, whether it's what they're gonna do in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. I'm talking about the financial goals, a net worth goal. When I started working at age of 23, I was having my net worth goal by age 30. This is the net worth I'm gonna have. By 35, I want my net worth to be this. By 40 years, I want my net worth to be this. And I keep on achieving that. If we have those kind of a financial discipline in our life, so these kind of market correction will become an opportunity for us when we know where we want to be in 10 years, 15 years, when we want to retire. So this will help us achieve our financial goals. This will help us achieve our financial freedom or our financial confidence, as we call it. It can help you retire early at the age 40, 45, 50, whatever you want. Have those financial goals is very important. And everyone should be, yes, we understand the markets is going down, but if we don't know how to invest in the stocks or the stock market, then this market downturn will just go away. It will recover and we will just keep on watching. So this is very important for us, for everyone to be investing in stock. If you're a student, start learning by a demo account, open a small account. If it's still difficult, look for a financial advisor who can advise where and how you should be investing. The simple technique is very simple. Invest in an index fund, which gives like a Nifty index fund. It's very simple, give you a exposure, and it's pretty simple. Similarly, I'm just trying to rush in to give you everything what I want to mention. Another rule of thumb, 72, which everyone should be aware of, that 72 divided by interest rate, this is the number of years your money will take. If your money is lying just in a saving account earning 4%, it's going to take 18 years just to double your money. But if that money is investing in a stock market earning you say 8 to 12%, it will take you only 6 to 9 years for your money to get doubled. So for the students, it makes sense as soon as you start earning, you start saving and investing. When I started, my first job was in India was only 6,000 rupee. And with 6,000 rupee, I was saving 500 a month. So that's how I started saving even a smaller amount, but it gives me a saving and investment discipline, which is very important for everyone to start saving at a very early age. As this one of the graphs shows here, the importance of saving at an early age. As I said, if you don't know how to do that, look for a financial advisor. Nowadays, there are robo-advisor also. You can just look for some platform which can advise you. So this is my summary, that you should know how to budget, like you know where your money is coming in, where your money is going out. You should know the rule of saving thumb rule, which is 50, 15, and 5. Everyone should have a term insurance and a health insurance for a time like this. Have an emergency fund, which is worth at least 6 months of your reserve. Make your financial goals, set your financial priorities, keep your financial goal very clear to you. If you don't know how to invest in individual stocks, I recommend not to invest in individual stocks. Go for an index fund like a Nifty index fund. It's pretty simple, easy way to invest in the stock market. And because of the compounding in next 25, 30 years, you can make a lot of money because every few years your money is doubling. Consult with a fund manager. If you cannot reach a fund manager directly, go for a financial advisor. Go for a robo advisor if you cannot reach a financial advisor. So it's pretty simple thing. As I said, we cannot control the market. Only thing we can control is our reaction towards the market. And if we follow these simple rules, financial rules, so this will help us become a better investor, a successful investor, and we will live life of our dreams, whether it's a retirement goal at a young age, whether somebody wants to retire at 40. I personally achieved my financial independence at the age 35 because as soon as I started working, I started investing. So saving is not enough unless you invest it. Save, invest, don't worry about the market fluctuation, invest regularly, take advantage of these kind of a correction, and it will help you reach your financial goal much better. I wanted to share, this is my last piece, if just piece of advice for all the students, which is a piece of advice from Jack Ma, which he said, if you are below 20 years, you should be a good student. Once you are between 20 years and 30 years, you look for a smaller company, look for a mentor. Don't worry about the salaries and stuff like that. Work for a smaller company. So between 30 to 40 years, try to be an entrepreneur. Work for your passion. Find your passion. And once you are 40 years old, 40 years of age, you make your passion as a profession. So once you love what you're doing, this will never be a job for you. And so on. So with this, I wrap up my presentation, wherein I mentioned about what's happening to the market, how we should be reacting, and a small piece of advice for all the students to follow that. Once they have a blueprint, they know how to go ahead, they can easily manage all the challenges that is coming through their life. So that's it. And yeah, there was a couple of things. Anybody want to reach me, I have on my website. They can reach me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So very much reachable. So that's wrap up my presentation for today. I'll be stick around for any question answer session later on.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ajay. It was really nice to hear from you the overall overview of the market. And of course, you mentioned about the thumb rule 50, 15, and 5. That was really amazing. And looking at the Indian perspective, I think it is not very challenging and it is quite achievable. You know, limiting our expenditure up to 50% only, and rest can be invested or in different financial aspects, like for example retirement planning or any other immediate or medium term goal. So and of course, like in India, of course, that is quite achievable, but that requires a lot of discipline for sure. And so that's what exactly you mentioned in your address. So great. So now we'll like to invite Ashish for further deliberation, and he is going to talk about the private equity and high net worth individuals dilemma side, and see what are the trends going on in the market from that perspective, and what is the market look like in future. So over to Ashish. Welcome.
Thank you all for inviting me, and very good advice by Mr. Ajay Khurana that it's not only the saving which is required, but at some point of time investment takes over that. So that all the students should take this advice, and so that the financial independence can be achieved at an earlier stage rather than waiting for the retirement one. And just to let you know, and everybody must be aware that the product of Dr. Anand Rai only. He taught me somewhere in my MBA college, and happy to be here as a part of all the discussion here. So I have a small presentation. I'm just trying to show it.
And also in the meantime, after I think 4 or 5 minutes, this Zoom meeting will be over. So I would request the guests to again re-log in because 40 minutes only. So I think just 4 or 5 minutes after that.
Is it visible? My presentation?
Yep.
Yes, it is. It is.
Gonna end now.
Yes, it's visible.
Perfect. Okay. First of all, going by the topic, it's regarding addressing individual investors' dilemma during COVID-19. I understand that the level of understanding of the students may vary. Some of them might be knowing some of the terms, some of them might not be knowing. So it would be better to bring a level playing field for all of them. So I've started my presentation with the topic only. What do you understand by the topic? If some of you have already researched about the topic, well and good. Even if you have not, here I'm going to explain it. First of all, addressing individual investors' dilemma during, there are so many keywords here. First of all, addressing, obviously. Then why addressing is required? Does it mean that the investors are not addressed? Second point, individual investors. Are you able to identify the difference between who are the individual investors? And is there any other category also which does exist other than the individuals for which we are not concerned or we are concerned? Why have we chosen this topic only? Why not other investors also? And dilemma, and what is the confusion regarding this investment? And the next thing, obviously, the current situation with COVID-19, which is obviously impacting not only individuals, but also the corporates. So, okay, why addressing is required, the first aspect. For this, we will have to understand various types of investors that